Well, that's true. And if we look at a lot of the textbooks that have come out and the lessons that are there for our children, I mean, it is all kind of this new awareness of the environment, which again is not a bad thing, to be aware of it, to be smarter about how we recycle, to have more sustainable, I hate using that word now, have more sustainable, self-sustainable
That's
is
a
what I
better
like,
word, yeah.
Ways to grow food, whether it's gardens or chickens or whatever, that you're putting the power in your own hands, that it's the power of the individual that really matters. And it's when we take it away from the individual and have another entity say, here's how you're going to do it, it's going to be a problem, whether they're demanding that you grow chickens or they're trying to say you're going to cut down on the hours per day that you have your lights on. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's one and the same.
The point is, it's a loss of freedom. It's more the government controlling you, telling you what you can do, and you having to ask what you can do and can't do.
You know, I tell you something else too. You know, one of the things when you talk to your local, I'll say elected officials, I have a problem calling them all leaders. When you talk to them, they may not know. You know, there was a poll taken, I can't remember who, it was either Scott Rasmussen or AP, but they had a poll that 85% of Americans did not know enough about Agenda 21 to form an opinion. Now, you could look at that one of two ways. Either A, it's really scary how ignorant we are, or B, we have a chance to change the debate. And for the advice I would give to people is if you're going to go in front of your leaders or elected officials or whoever at the county level, city level, be specific about it. Don't try to tie it to some international conspiracy. You'll be called a nut job like I get called all the time. So, you know, focus on and look for those key words that we're talking about. The one-size-fits-all policies that keep getting pushed. Transit-oriented development in particular. I mean, transit-oriented development is being pushed whether it works or not, whether there's any demand for it. I challenge you to drive down Hiawatha and show me what's being built. I challenge you to drive down North Star and tell me what's being built. There isn't jack squat being built, yet everybody's still pushing the same thing, the same policy, with the same language, whether the hell it works or not. So, you know, point that out to these people who haven't sold out to well, you may have a small number of those.
And also sometimes I look at it as a make work projects and so forth. And you know, it used to be that private enterprise did these things, and now it's just more and more government jobs. And one thing, for example, last week we had a major snowstorm on Sunday, and the snow plows didn't come out. The roads were a mess for 3 days, and what I saw with my own eyes was 5 plow trucks from Hennepin County just sitting on the side of the road. Do you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is that, you know, if that was those were private enterprise jobs instead of government jobs, it would have gotten done.
You mean contract out?
Yeah, contract. What a concept! Concept for freedom.
You can't
and
do
I
that.
just see, you know, I just see just about everything like that. Those kind of programs is just drubbing away at our freedom. And so as far as the, you know, that tying that into the Agenda 21 thing, it's just something that we have to keep fighting for. It used to be taken for granted. You think that you live in America, the land of the free. But that's no longer true. You have to fight for freedom and get active about it.
Well, and I would add to it, you know, one thing. This is, you know, the world coming in and taking us over. It's not something I want to believe. And I think people have a natural thing. They don't want to think it's true. And changing people's minds is something that we've got to do. I mean,
well, putting it out there, getting the information out there.
That's true. We certainly can't rely on our media is too obsessed with Michelle Obama's inauguration dress to do any real. And don't count on your local governments either. Local newspaper won't report a thing. No offense on Channel 12 because they've given me a very lucrative contract to extend my seasons here. But they won't report on anything either. They'll report on it after it happens. They'll never confront elected officials. They'll never tie it to anything bigger. It's all just puff pieces. So,
and they say they don't know, like at the local level, when you ask them questions about it, they'll say, well, they don't know or they hadn't heard of that. But I can't believe that's true. Either they're lying or they're really stupid, which means they're not qualified to be in leadership positions. But at the same time, they're doing it. You know, they're putting aside our new curbs and infrastructure in where it doesn't need to be put, just in the name of following along with the program, or, as I maintain, making work.
Well, there's a lot, I think, there's a lot to worry about, a lot more than there used to be to run a city. And, you know, it's hard for me to blame new incoming council people that are just coming in and kind of feeling their oats. And you know, they get told, well, here's what we're doing, here's the way that it
always has been done.
Right? And so what we need are people to stand up and say, I want to explore this a little bit more. I want to learn more. I want to understand it. And so I'm going to put the challenge out there right now. If you're in local government somewhere, or maybe you're friends with somebody that got elected to a position, get a hold of Community Solutions Minnesota. I will, or somebody I work with, will come and we will train you, nice. Or we will train your city on Agenda 21. Nice. And we will also give you good ways to fight back against it if you're encountering it in your community, because we need to stop. I mean, it will come inside of our homes and change the way that we live in our homes if we do not stop it now. From limiting how warm or cold your house can be depending on the time of year to, you know, your meter readings for water and electricity and gas. They're only going to give you so much.
Penalized if you use, you know, more than they have determined water, for example. If you use 1 gallon over that, you're penalized by having a higher rate or tier, as they call it.
That's correct. That's all due to the smart meters.
Oh, so smart.
Yeah, you know, another place to go if you want some federal information is reconnectingamerica.org, which is another website. There's all these plans. There's all these, I would call it socialism, but there's all, they have kits to how they're trying to force this stuff on local communities. They say it's voluntary, but when government says something's voluntary, it means do it or there'll be consequences.
That's true.
All right. Well, if you have anything else quick to say, otherwise we're ready to wrap up Mr. Richter's 150th program. And what I'd like to say to you is work for your freedom. Let freedom ring.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.